Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, on both YouTube and Facebook. How are you today? So, gosh, I was just listening to Overnight Talk Radio Coast to Coast, and the man was talking about the chemicals that, Monsanto, and how powerful they are, and how, one lady called up and you could tell that she was older. And she's talking about all of the cancers that she's had and survived. She was a spunky woman, and she said the question is like, were the bugs worse than the chemicals that are used to kill them, that are killing us? Oh my goodness. So anyway, just interesting, and that's a whole aside to my topic today. But my topic today is stomach space, and carbage. And carbage is a combination, somebody else coined it, not me, of carbohydrates and garbage foods. Carbage. And we all know what those are. And they're things like Doritos and Kraft macaroni and cheese and the crazy breads that are out there and nutrition bars and the cereals and all of the ingredients that we eat. And, when they say, it's so funny because the MyPlate.gov is the younger sibling of the dietary pyramid guidelines that came out a number of years ago. And this stuff is just, we are not supposed to eat grains. Our bodies, for thousands and gazillions of years, we didn't have grains. We were foragers, and we had fruits when in season and things like that. But the garbage of the United States food, Europe is so much further ahead of us. And it was very, very interesting. Somebody posted Coconut Dream. I think it was Suzanne. She posted Coconut Dream on my Facebook page and said, look what I found. And I think it's like, I think it's a coconut milk, but, just by the name itself makes itself sound creamier, dreamier than regular, like the SO coconut milk that I have in my bulletproof coffee. But anyway, and so she said she found it, and so when I see a product put on my Facebook page, I immediately Google it and see what the ingredients are, because I'm always curious, and whether it will end up in my, in my battery of foods or not. And it said carrageenan was in it. And of course I'm in the United States and she's in Canada. And so she, messages back that hers doesn't have it. And so she wondered if that's because they have different laws than we do about adding that into their foods. And I looked it up on Amazon, and my comment was, well, maybe Amazon is trying to unload all the ones with carrageenan, excuse me. It looks like it should be a long E, but carrageenan, and because most of us are barking very loud about it, and they're taking that chemical or that additive out of a lot of the dairy products that we see, and obviously non-dairy if that's Coconut Dream. So it's just very, very interesting, and you do need to become really label savvy, and if it's chemical sounding, you know that that's going to be a chemical. But there's some things that are put in, like natural flavorings. If you do your homework on that, or you listen to somebody else that's done their homework on natural flavorings, you'll find that they could derive from chemicals, right? I read a very interesting article, or maybe it was a whole chapter, about vanilla. And Madagascar vanilla is like the real deal. And I don't know where Madagascar is. I just think of a Disney movie. But I guess that's where the true vanilla would come from. And it must have been the Dorito effect. because this sounds very Dorito Effect sounding. And the USDA approved imitation vanilla as okay. And even though it's all from chemicals, but it got to the place where it could be approved. And not a suspicious chemical alternative to pure vanilla. Because pure vanilla is very expensive, but it's also delicious. And to me, it's not an alternative. And I'm a recovering alcoholic, but the only time I would use it in something that it would be cooked in, and it would be so little. But I'm not having those baked goods anymore, so I'm not really having vanilla in anything. So anyway, Carbage and stomach space. And, you know, when you think that this is where the food manufacturers have you, it really, I hope, it kind of awakens you into thinking, hey, you know, no, I'm not just stomach space to some executive sitting around a board table figuring out how they can fill it with more carbage. It's so rude. It's so insulting, isn't it? Don't you want to think better of yourself? And so that article that I read from the Vitality magazine about stomach space, it just got to me so much, just thinking that that's, you know, talk about feeling like the masses. No, it is so hard to lose weight. It really, really is, with what is out there. I mean, you just can't shop those inner aisles for anything except maybe your coconut oil and your olive oil, because the stuff is just. I keep saying here, if your grandmother wouldn't recognize it as a food, or read the label and not understand what some of those ingredients are, then don't eat it. You know, there's so much alteration that's been done to things that we eat that we think are healthy. If you read the Dorito Effect, you would know what they do to chicken. And so when I buy a chicken, it's organic. And then, even then, my fingers are crossed that it's not fed with grains that have been treated with chemicals, because it's not what you're eating, it's what you're eating ate before you, right? So if you're having an egg, what did the chicken eat? So funny. What did the chicken eat before they laid the egg? You know, are they eating chemicals in a grain? Or are they outside free-range chickens having insects and cute little bugs and grass and all kinds of things that would be there for them to have if they're pasture raised? So yes, it's expensive and it's annoying and it's so much work to do, and who has time for that? And I'm just buying plain old white eggs at Albert's. Well, don't. You know, try to upgrade. I'll never forget the walking lady. Oh, suddenly I can't think of her name. She's really, really perky and nice and has all the walking videos. And she was doing this one that was kind of Pilates on the floor as opposed to walking. And she said, if you do one thing in your life, upgrade to organic eggs. And I trumped that with organic grass-fed. You know, the Pete and Jerry's are indeed just that. And Carol's are too. And Carol's come from local farmers. I read the there was a little brochure, and I bought some at Whole Foods, and they really weren't more expensive than even the best quality eggs, and they were probably equal. And so what they do is they get them from other farmers, which is probably how Pete and Jerry's does it too. The local farmers that grow to certain standards or have their chickens to certain standards. And I just so appreciate that. And you know, my grocery bill really has gone down. It does make a difference when you buy quality things. You really honor what you're putting into your container if you watched yesterday's video. So think of yourself as somebody that says no, thank you to stomach space Carbage items. Try eliminating them one at a time. There's also been a lot of scuttlebutt on my page about being addicted to sugar, so look for something on that again soon too, because that's how it is for us. You know, we're constantly monitoring ourselves, and it's a whack-a-mole. You know, when you think you got something under control, up comes something else. And it's really, really hard to lose weight and maintain the loss. I know, because I've added a couple of pounds over the winter. And am I doing anything different? No, I'm not. And so, you know, it's perplexing. So, and nobody monitors like I do. Well, I'm sure some of you do. But, you know, it's difficult. I mean, how come the same thing that I ate today that I ate yesterday makes me bloat? You know, it's all those questions that we have. Are you paying attention to what you put into your body, and it's not just a garbage eating, stomach space kind of existence? Let's move from that sorry state to where you really can care about yourself. Become that glass container. See ya next time. It's time for me to go and work on producing this. Yeah, right, with all my technical acumen. Have a wonderful day. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Don't forget to track. Don't forget your water. Bye-bye for now.